During the 1930s, the city of Cleveland, Ohio, was already facing difficult times. The Great Depression had left many people unemployed and desperate. Industrial smoke filled the air, neighborhoods struggled with poverty, and fear often lingered in the streets. But beginning in 1935, an even darker fear emerged. A series of horrifying murders would turn Cleveland into the center of one of America's most disturbing unsolved mysteries. The killer became known as the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run, more commonly remembered today through the Cleveland torso murders.
The nightmare began when human remains were discovered in an area called Kingsbury Run, a rough district filled with shanty towns, railroad tracks, and abandoned industrial spaces. The victim had been dismembered. Soon afterward, more bodies appeared. The pattern shocked investigators. Victims were often decapitated and mutilated, making identification difficult. Some remains showed signs that the killer possessed at least some anatomical knowledge. Fear spread quickly through Cleveland. People realized they were dealing with someone unusually methodical and dangerous.
Over the next several years, additional victims were discovered in different locations around the city. Many of the victims were poor or transient individuals, people living on the margins of society during the Depression era. Some were never identified. This made the investigation even harder. Police struggled to establish clear connections between the victims or determine the killer's identity. Meanwhile, newspapers sensationalized the murders, increasing public panic. The city wanted answers. But the killer remained invisible.
One of the most famous figures involved in the case was Eliot Ness, best known for fighting organized crime during Prohibition. At the time of the murders, Ness served as Cleveland's public safety director. Determined to stop the killings, he launched large-scale investigations and raids in areas where he believed the killer might be hiding. Despite his efforts, the murders continued. The pressure on law enforcement intensified with every new discovery.
The brutality of the crimes created widespread anxiety. Residents avoided isolated areas, rumors spread constantly, and speculation about the killer's identity became a national obsession. Some believed the murderer had medical training. Others suspected a drifter, a butcher, or someone familiar with anatomy. The killer's ability to evade capture only deepened the fear. Each new body reminded the city that the murderer was still out there.
Over the years, investigators considered multiple suspects. One individual attracted particular attention due to erratic behavior and disturbing psychological issues. However, evidence against him was never strong enough for conviction. Other theories pointed toward organized crime connections, medical professionals, or unknown drifters moving through Depression-era America. But none of the theories solved the mystery conclusively. No one was ever officially charged with the murders.
By the late 1930s, the murders appeared to stop. Whether the killer died, moved away, was imprisoned for another crime, or simply escaped detection remains unknown. The case gradually faded from headlines, but never disappeared from public memory. The Cleveland torso murders became one of the most infamous unsolved serial murder cases in American history.
Part of what makes the case so haunting is the uncertainty surrounding both the victims and the killer. Some victims remain unidentified even today. The exact number of murders connected to the case is still debated. And the killer's identity remains one of the great unanswered questions in criminal history. The combination of brutality, mystery, and historical atmosphere has kept interest in the case alive for decades.
The Cleveland of the 1930s was already shaped by economic hardship and uncertainty. Then came a killer who moved silently through the city's darkest corners, leaving behind fear and unanswered questions. No confession. No proven suspect. Only fragmented evidence, and a city haunted by a faceless murderer.
Somewhere in the shadows of Depression-era Cleveland, a killer vanished into history. And with him disappeared the truth behind one of America's most chilling unsolved crimes. A mystery carved into the city's memory, and never fully buried.